Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. And it's time for a vinyl update, where I go through a series of new records that have made their way into my prestigious vinyl collection. It's really not that prestigious. So let's just get into it. You know, we pretty much do these, for the most part, raw. So, you know, I'm just going to be talking off the dome about these records over here that I have. And let me orient myself here for 1 second. Okay, there we go. There we go. That's what we want there first. Okay, first, just want to give a quick shout out to the people at Vinyl Me Please. They handed me this Hot Chip record. This is not their latest record. The album they came out with before that, In Our Heads, gave it a pretty positive review over on the channel, and this was their record of the month. So, you know, and not only is this one of my favorite Hot Chip records, but it comes in this beautiful double LP set of kind of this very pretty orangey yellow and a very nice lavender color right there. So yeah, really nice packaging. Good job on the packaging, guys. Good job on the packaging. Very nice, pretty little vinyl colors for this double LP package. You know, not too much else to say about it other than that, you know, it comes with the usual extras that comes with a record from these guys, you know, like a 12-inch art print, a little postcard from the band with a message about the record, which is nice, which is very nice. And there you go. Sweet little Hot Chip double LP, In Our Heads. Some synth pop, some new wave there, some indie-tronic music. You know, if you're looking for some electronically flavored pop music, look that record up. And I also want to give a shout out to the people over at Old English Spelling Bee Records. They sent me a handful of records, you know, some of which I'm still kind of sifting through, but among them was the James Ferraro album. I don't want to screw up this title. Night Dolls with Hairspray. This is a weird bit of like lo-fi rock. A lot of it is instrumental. It's very smudgy, very muddy, but kind of in an interesting aesthetic kind of way. I mean, it sounds like it was done on a 4-track in the 70s or the 80s, and it's kind of got this just weird 80s rock vibe, and there's all these, you know, kind of logos all over the front and the back that kind of mock the MTV logo. I mean, it sounds like some, you know, like bad old 80s rock that you would like find on like a VHS tape that somebody was recording off of MTV because, you know, their favorite 80s rock video came on and they wanted to catch it. It's a very interesting collection of tracks. Listen to the first side, and it's quirky, it's funny, it's got a sense of humor, and it also rocks, and some parts of it are pretty catchy. You know, it's Ariel Pink-ish, but you know, James Ferraro, though, is a totally different beast. He is, you know, in a totally different league of weirdness and variety as well. I mean, he has, you know, a ton of different records that approach a myriad of different music styles. So, you know, if you don't like this, definitely try out some of his other stuff, especially his more weird post-modern releases that the people in the vaporwave community seem to sort of be head over heels for. All right, going into a bit of country. With Mr. David Allen Coe. This is some outlaw country right here. Interesting album title here with sort of these arrows in between the main words of the title. Invictus means unconquered. And while it does kind of have that kind of clean, glitzy, Nashville-ish sound to it, didn't really look to where it was recorded, although I'm sure it's listed in the liner notes here. You know, though it does have that sound, David Allen Coe, being sort of the outlaw countryman that he was on this record, he's got this kind of, you know, very sour, surly personality and demeanor that comes through mostly in his lyrics. And you know, as far as the first half of this record goes, you know, some fantastic songs on here. Rose Nose was a great ballad. Ain't It Funny the Way Love Can Do You was really just like a bitter kind of anti-love song. If you ever think of me at all, the chorus on that one was huge. And Purple Heart, the song Purple Heart, I Should Get a Purple Heart for Loving You, was actually pretty hilarious as well. But the cherry on top with this record is really this photo on the inside. You have David Allen Coe here, rhinestones on the suit, rhinestones on the hat, surrounded by two lovely ladies, one of whom has teeth that are very clearly discolored in this photograph, and she is grabbing that David Allen cock right there. So, you know, very, very flattering photograph right there for the insert. Loving it, loving it, loving it. So, you know, a classy, funny little outlaw country record right here from David Allen Coe, Invictus Means Unconquered. Don't think it's one of his more well-known records. I would have to look into it. But, you know, if you're completely unfamiliar with him, look into other songs like, I believe the song is titled Long-Haired Redneck, which is a really funny track. You know, David Allen Coe, always been known for just his very gritty lyrics and, you know, really strong sense of humor, you know, and sense of irony that comes through in his songs. So, you know, if you've always kind of been on the fence with country music, or you've sort of been wondering, you know, sort of where to get into country music, even though David, a lot of his records have not been reprinted, a lot of his stuff can be hard to, you know, come by. Definitely an artist to look into. I'm sure you can find a lot of his stuff, you know, streamable online. All right, we're going to get into a bit of new wave here. It's fitting that we talked about Hot Chip earlier, because here are a few bands that most definitely influenced. Then we have a 45 RPM 12-inch single of Soft Cells, Tainted Love. Was listening to this thing earlier today. Amazing 12-inch single. This thing sounds fantastic on vinyl, and the record here is in fantastic condition. Was really happy. And not only do we get the lead single on here, or the main single, or one of the biggest singles from this synth-pop phenomenon that is Soft Cell, but we get a bit of an extension of this track with the song Where Did Our Love Go? The song kind of, you know, I don't want to say fades, but transitions into Where Did Our Love Go? And then we get Memorabilia, which is way post-punkier on the B side of this. And then after that we get Tainted Dub, which is a weird dub revision of the instrumental on Tainted Love. Can't really say it was a totally successful dub, but it was, you know, on Sire Records, just, you know, simple packaging. Can't really say it was a successful dub. You know, look into some King Tubby if you want some, or Lee Scratch Perry if you want some fantastic dub. I would say it was more of a dub experiment on the B side of this, but very interesting and entertaining nonetheless. And also, I picked this up at a used record shop in Boston when I was over there not too long ago. And it was a little beat up, but I hoped it played through, and it ended up playing through really nicely. No, you know, skipping or anything like that. Grabbed a copy of Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Darks, Architecture and Morality. Known about this band's big singles for a long time, never really got into this album of theirs, and man, you know, it's just one of those times when you grab a record that you've been meaning to pick up for a long time on Epic Records right here. Although I have the sleeve here that goes with the album. It's just one of those instances where you actually end up picking up a record that you've been meaning to grab for a long time, and then you give it a listen, and then you're just like, shit, what the hell have I been missing this whole time? What have I been missing? Well, this is obviously what I've been missing, but, you know, you're a little mad at yourself for a second because you're like, God damn it, should have heard this years ago. Should have owned this years ago. And, you know, like, again, known the band's singles, known about this record, and you know, was kind of holding off because I'm like, you know, I'll run across a vinyl copy. I'll grab a vinyl copy when I see it. And, you know, finally the opportunity came, a little beat up, like I said, but it played through beautifully. And, you know, it was just like, it was just an amazing moment. I was just like, God damn it, mad at myself, but simultaneously so happy I heard this. You know, if you're looking for some new wave, if you're looking for some synth pop that is like some cream of the crop shit, give this thing a listen. Again, Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark, Architecture and Morality, just to give you the title again. This one, not a hard record to come by, but a record that when I saw it, it was cheap, it was used, had to get it. King Crimson, In the Court of the Crimson King. I reviewed this for Classics Week before. I had the follow-up to this record sitting in the vinyl collection. The record itself is in fantastic condition, despite the age of the album itself. In fantastic condition. Not a scratch on it, not even dusty, just cleaned it off a little bit, and it sounds pristine. It sounds amazing. Like I said, not a hard record to come by. Not saying that owning this record is a feat or anything like that. It does smell like someone's basement a little bit, though. It smells like a basement. But the record itself is in fantastic condition. What I'm saying is my reasoning behind getting this record is that this is the medium this stuff was meant to be heard on. This is like, going out to see Avatar in the theaters, Like, this is the format this was meant to be on. And, listening to it on this format, I think lends a certain kind of magic, that can't necessarily be explained, at least not right now in the middle of a vinyl update. So, really happy I picked this up. Again, great condition, fantastic record, must-own progressive rock album. And, the inside looks amazing as well. No complaints. Just, gotta have it. So there you go. Moving along, some more progressive rock here, but prog rock of the synth-rock variety. We have some Tangerine Dream. I've reviewed these guys in a classic review as well, though a previous album I sort of mentioned this record as one of their later records that incorporated more rock elements. Records like this, huge influence on bands like Zombie. So if you're looking for some pulsating drums and synth sequences, some pretty great bass lines as well, look into this record. This is actually an Italian pressing of this Tangerine Dream album, Force Majeure, which, doesn't really mean anything other than that some of the labeling is in Italian. The record itself is still in fantastic condition, plays through well, sounds amazing. Again, some progressive rock, some synth flavored, some synth heavy, some synth-centric progressive rock right here with Tangerine Dream, Force Majeure. Classic 70s pop right here. Fleetwood Mac. Picked this up for $7. I love... a lot of people sing vinyl's praises for the fact that, you get the big album art and so on and so forth and the sound and all that. But I love the fact that I get some great music for cheap. $7 here, man. $7. Fantastic condition. And yeah, it's a popular record. It's probably not that hard to come by. There may in fact be a copy of this in decent condition sitting in your local record shop right now. And if you're in the mood for some fantastic pop, you can go your own way. Fleetwood Mac Rumors. I have this. I have the self-titled. I have Tusk. Sort of that trio of fantastic records that these guys dropped around this point in time right there. Though they have other amazing albums as well, but these are kind of the a few of the Fleetwood Mac essentials. So right here, Fleetwood Mac Rumors. Getting phlegmy today. There's a lot of pollen outside. Gross, Anthony, gross. Picked up this Swans, Burning World, I believe. Yep, The Burning World by Swans. Not one of their more celebrated records, and I believe that there's even material from this album on a compilation that you could find on Michael Gira's label's website, where he puts out, and reissues a lot of Swans' material. And I believe in the synopsis for the record that is the compilation for the stuff that they were coming out with in this era. Gira himself kind of says that he's pretty indifferent toward a lot of the stuff that Swans was dropping around this time. And giving the first side of this record a listen, sort of have the lyric sheet, which this is pretty interesting because Gira on this record I could tell he's definitely a little bit more... trying to be a little bit more poetic here and a little bit more wordy than he typically is on Swan's music. So this was a pretty interesting read. The record itself is in a pretty great, condition. Maybe it wasn't played that often. But sort of, reading into Michael Gira's feelings on this record, I could sort of understand why, he's not a big fan of it in retrospect. Some parts of it kind of reminded me of like I was listening to like a gothic Magnetic Fields or something. And there were some folkier, just kind of more acoustic moments that I don't think went over completely well and were just maybe a little bit underwhelming. Plus, on top of it, I think Michael Gira's vocals aren't, the most captivating here as they've been on previous and future efforts as well. But simultaneously, while, I sort of understand why this record might not be sort of seen as one of Swans' best in retrospect, having a really hard time getting it back in the sleeve. While I understand why this might not be one of Swans' better records, I do kind of see it, I guess, as a bit of a necessary step that the band needed to take in order to get over to records like The Great Annihilator, because there are elements of folk music and sort of the haunting, heavy acoustic instrumentation and the disturbing, just very dark lyrical imagery that is a pretty prominent characteristic on The Great Annihilator and the records that would come after that album. So, Burning World, if you are a Swans fan, I think it's worth a listen, and I think I don't think it's a record that you should necessarily skip out on. Definitely some interesting things here, though. I would say that this record doesn't do those interesting things as well as Swans, next couple of records. So, yeah, again, Swans, The Burning World, decent LP, and, it's cool to have another piece of Swans vinyl in the collection. And finally, this is a reissue, not an older record, but I'm kind of building up my records from this band. Can! Oh boy, here we go. Egg Bamyasi. What the hell is there to say about Can that I haven't said in previous vinyl updates where I've featured their music? I mean, great experimental, funky, energetic German rock band. I mean, a lot of people would just kind of label it as krautrock. And one of their best and biggest songs on here, Vitamin C. You're losing your vitamin C. There's not really anything crazy about the packaging. I mean, it's pretty standard for the reissue packaging that they've been releasing with all of their, recent reissues. You get pictures, you get, a little bit of liner notes in here. It's just pretty simple, just gives you the record, and the record sounds fantastic. I mean, again, this is the format that this stuff was sort of meant to be listened to on. So that's why, it's amazing to sort of have this stuff on vinyl. And yeah, got some cheap records, got a new record, but, sounds great on this format. So that's essentially the vinyl that I am updating you with. We have updated with this vinyl. This is the vinyl update, y'all. This is the vinyl update. Hope you're doing well. Let me know down in the comments if you picked up any fantastic records recently, as a surprise. Whoa, didn't know that was going to be here. And at that price, let me know. Any additions to your record collection that are fantastic? You're the best. Transition. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a nice day. I will leave it at that. You're the best. Eat some fruits, eat some veggies, get some water, enjoy the nice weather outside, hug a loved one, get a good night's sleep. That's fucking important. Get a good night's sleep. And, put a little effort into, whatever your passion project is or hobby this weekend. Do a little bit of that self-improvement shit, learn something, educate yourself in something, and just be cool to everybody. Forever.